3 F50. So, yeah, it should be an exciting final.
So Lisa Dormanin giving us the Pelican's eye view, because the Pelicans usually stay on the water, so that's another bird, just clarifying. So there you see the Americans coming up on 2:45 to go before the start of this event final. Maximum points, 10. That goes to your overall standings. Right now, the Australians are on top with 52 points. The Americans, though, sitting in 5th place right now, Stevie, and they are just 5 points back of the Kiwis. So the Kiwis have the most to gain being this one. If they can take 10 points, that puts them on 50 points, and that really closes the gap on the Australians as we head down under.
Yeah, and it's momentum, isn't it? They had such a tough middle part of the season, the New Zealand crew, but when we talk about momentum, all 3 teams here have just got an absolute chance to really make their season have a move. For a brand new USA team, what an opportunity. Yeah. I've got to be honest, I didn't expect it. I'm not sure they would have really expected to be in a final already. For Peter Burling and New Zealand, well, they couldn't even race in Italy due to the accident they had in SailGP, and their season looked to be on the ropes, but Andy Maloney, well, Blair too, Andy Maloney, Liv Mackay, the strategist, all top world-class sailors. They've won most things they've been involved in, and they've won an awful lot of these SailGP 3-boat final formats. And then for the Spanish crew, for Diego Botín and his crew, well, they started the season, they came out the blocks, and we were like, wow, here we go. And then through that European leg, they just drifted away. They had a final in Saint-Tropez, and then we've not seen them for a few events. So I think for Diego, for Florian, for Nicole and Joel, big opportunity to get the wheels back on their season.
Under 90 seconds to go, and the third and final team in this final, the Americans. We had a chance to talk with Sarah Stone, Taylor Canfield. We got to get credit to Leo Takahashi and Victor Diaz de Leon, as they will try to pull out the big win here and give themselves the maximum 10 points. Remember, if Spain wins and the USA finishes in 3rd, Spain will overtake the Americans for a top 5 position.
That's right, and I think Leo Takahashi, their flight controller, he was with Team Japan in the first 2 seasons. So he brings a bit of experience. Interesting now, that blue marker there towards the middle of our screen, that's the place that is pole position to start. But as all the wing trim has told us before the racing today, it's about hitting the line fast. USA, he's decided to be the lead back boat. He's decided to lead the fleet in. He has control. Spain will take on the role of this sniper. He's looking for the opportunity out the back. And, well, New Zealand somewhere in the middle, but he'll be relying on his timing and then hoping for better boat speed as he comes in. 30 seconds to go. The Spanish coach is there on the shoreline looking out. Big gap off for New Zealand here. He's given himself an opportunity. USA close to the line. They will be near that pole position, but will they be fast? It's going to be a battle between USA and Spain. New Zealand has space. Space is normally good with 15 seconds to go. The Kiwis start to wind it up. 10 seconds to go here. Watch for that line to turn right. Here go New Zealand. They turn it towards the line. They're going to be the fastest boat. How's your timing, Pete Burling? It's going to be go for the final in here in Abu Dhabi, and the Kiwis are fastest at the gun, but can they roll over the top of the US to Mark 1?
And the Kiwis here at 30 kilometers an hour of boat speed, so they are right on the edge of being able to pop.
Peter Burling and the Kiwis with a master class in patience as they approach mark number 1 here in the event final in Abu Dhabi. And remember, every single driver told us, if you get a great start, that is 90% of the battle.
That's a brilliant start by the Kiwi crew. They look like they're setting up to do a maneuver straight away at Mark 1 here. Slow turn down for the Kiwis, trying to keep control of that inside position. They made a gain there at Mark 1 when they were in the pack. Interesting, they've chosen to turn straight at the mark. Maybe thinks he's seen wind. It was a slightly darker patch of water we could see on the screen there. USA follows round behind them. They're quick to turn. Spain and USA are going to be in a private battle. Great news for New Zealand. Gate on the right-hand side of our screen. I imagine New Zealand will try and set up for a left turn. If they can get round this gate clear ahead, it's going to be a big advantage to that Kiwi crew.
So the Kiwis out in front here on the final race of the event. New Zealand, USA, and Spain battling for the top 10 points, and this would be huge for the Kiwis if they could win back-to-back events. Remember, they won in Dubai just a few weeks ago, trying to pull off the double here in the Middle East.
They look well lined up at the moment. Spain potentially overtaking USA, but I anticipate USA are going to look to set up for a right turn at the bottom of the course here. Expect a left turn for New Zealand. They're going to go in and give the fans a bit of a show on the shoreline. USA is going to be forced for a right turn here, I think.
The Kiwis starting to decelerate here. Spain closing that gap. Still all to play for.
We hear the voice there of Blair Tuke talking about the wind for the next leg. So the Kiwis were talking about turning up round this mark, and then they said we're going to go into attack. Well, that's when they turn the boat through the wind and head back across the course. So we expect a left turn. What do USA do? I would think you'd turn right here if I'm on board USA. Spain, they're going to follow, but they'll be looking to make an attack after the gate.
We've seen a lot of gains coming, as you mentioned, Stevie, before, when they go in front of the fans on the shore. So we'll see if that plays out now, as they are all looking for pressure, looking for ripples on the water, looking for dark patches. The Americans split away. Will this pay dividends for them?
Well, that's maybe a good time to go down to Lisa on the water if she's with us. Maybe Lisa can tell us what she thinks was the right call to make at that bottom gate.
Max 2. Yeah, got it.
Well, I definitely think it was a good call by the Americans. You know, if you're not winning this race, it probably is a good thing to split. But the New Zealand team, they were very prepared to be able to cover the rest of the fleet. So they've just actually turned, and they're going to basically cover. So go with the other teams and make sure that they don't find any more pressure than them. So yeah, it's sort of classic battle out here. Spain are the only one with the hull in the air at the moment, but New Zealand's about to pop up.
An early maneuver by Taylor Canfield, as he may sense what they were trying to do, and he turns back towards the shore.
Yeah, classic move for a match racer there, really. He wants to be trying to get himself heading in the different direction to the other teams. Up towards the top of our screen where the fans are, that's where we've seen historically there's been more wind. That's where the USA are sailing right now. So he's going to be heading there on his own. If there is more wind when he gets there, that'll be good news. That's hard for us to see from this angle, but the USA is making a move to try and make something happen in third place. That's all they could really hope to do. The Kiwis and the Spanish, they're neck and neck. But for Spain, the problem they've got is when they do their next maneuver, the Kiwi boat will be able to just slam dunk straight in front of them and block the wind onto the Spanish wing. So Burling in complete control of the Spanish right now, but Canfield, he's on a wing and a prayer, but potentially opportunity for the US boat if they can find more wind.
Currently, we are seeing the Kiwis with the best wind speed, so they've got 13 kilometers an hour of breeze where they are in that middle area of the course. USA have found a little bit on the top of the screen, 11, 12 kilometers an hour, but hopefully it will build as they get closer into the shore.
Not to be a spoiler alert, Stevie, but we have seen whoever has taken the whole shot in the previous 5 races has gone on almost every single time to win the race. That being said, the Americans have rolled the dice now. Do you think it's going to pay off?
Well, I think it was the move they had to make. It was the correct move at the time. I mean, if we're perfectly honest, they need a little bit of luck.
Yep.
But the reality is we can't control everything on a sailing boat race. You can't control what the wind's going to do next. You can hope to see it, hope to predict it, but if the Americans had stayed going in a straight line, they were definitely going to stay in third place. So he made the right decision at that time. Looks like a little gain at the moment, but I imagine New Zealand will turn in front of them, potentially look for a left turn here and block the US boat. But it's a gain for Canfield. And it's going to be tight between USA and Spain again as the Kiwis, they set up 2 more manoeuvres for New Zealand to get down to this final turning mark 4. If he can accelerate away from here, he's in good shape, but the US are not letting them off the hook just yet.
Emily, they share the data across the field, as we've seen all the coaches have the same data. If you're Taylor Canfield and your coaches, are they hearing that there's better pressure offshore, so head that way and follow the Kiwis?
They will definitely be keeping an eye on the wind speed that all of the boats are reading. That's the really interesting thing about the equipment that we've got. It allows all the teams to be able to see the live speed, direction, and help to predict what shifts are going to be next.
Spain were entitled to room inside there, Todd, and that's just great news for New Zealand. I'd say that is the moment the Kiwis should take the win. The Spanish have forced the USA to sail wider. Good news for USA up to second, though, making gains, but I think that will be now an insurmountable lead up to the Kiwis, really, because they've just stretched out. Although USA, 1 hull flying in the air. Spain have only got 2 hulls in the water, and the Kiwis have got 2 hulls in the water. So US are making some gains right now.
So the Americans looking for a little nitrous right here. If they can get past Burling and the Kiwis, there you see mark 4 at the top of your screen. They've got to go to that mark, take a left-hand turn, and then it's straight shot to the finish line. And early maneuver now. Now it's Canfield and Burling almost neck and neck.
Good move again by the US. He had more speed. He's going to be leading on the longer tack towards the next mark. He's just hoping that wind comes down from the top of the screen and hits him before New Zealand. New Zealand will have a faster angle from there, but only if they can stay in the same wind as the USA.
They're skimming down a lot. That's copy. Okay, now they're apparent wings more on the normal place.
Burling, he doesn't look relaxed. Just look at him leaning back there, willing the boat forward. Him and Blair Tuke have been in some tight situations for Olympic medals before, for America's Cups, for SailGP victories. They're just eking forward on that New Zealand boat. They do have the faster angle here. Canfield has positioned himself well tactically, but I think New Zealand's done enough.
Do the Americans have the right ley line into that marker? They're going to have to make another maneuver.
They might have to do 2 at the bottom. They're either going to get very slow or do 2 maneuvers. They will have the right of way on the Spanish when they get there, though, so it's good positioning. But I think New Zealand's too far down the road now. It's going to be back-to-back for the Kiwi crew.
And the realization now coming on board for Taylor Canfield, the Americans. Great just to be in this final, Steve, because they get the maximum points. But, Emily, it is tough to take down the Kiwis when they're sailing like this.
It is, and we know that they are one of our light wind specialists. The battle now is between the US team and the Spanish.
USA has the right of way here, but Spain has 2 times the boat speed. Spain should be able to slingshot round the outside, open a gap for the US to fit in, and then whip round the outside. I think, well, hats off to Taylor Canfield and his crew, because he went for the win. He did not settle for second. It's cost them a place, but hey, you've got to be in it to win it. And they have been. Diego Bortin's round, but it's the Kiwis look set to bring it home.
So in the final at Abu Dhabi, it is New Zealand. It is Peter Burling and crew that come across the line. That's 2 event wins in a row. The Kiwis take top honors in the UAE.
Could it be magic out there for this New Zealand crew, Todd? I mean, what a finish. What a performance, really. Absolutely nailed the start.
Credit where credit is due. Emily Nagel called this one 2 days ago. She said, I like the way the Kiwis are sailing. All right, who did you get the intel from? Because you were spot on.
The data never lies.
Spain will finish in 2nd place as they will pick up the 9 points, and that will catapult them from 6th overall to 5th. And hats off to Taylor Canfield, the Americans, just getting into the top 3 with a talent that is out on the water, Stevie. That is huge for a new team in SailGP.
Yeah, and they attacked that final. Wow, I mean, you know, that was some aggressive racing. They made the right decisions when they needed to. He went for the win. He was clearly not just happy to settle for second out there. He'd got past the Spanish, and it was like, right, how do I get past the Kiwis? Didn't work for him, but hey, like we say, I don't think he did anything at all bad in there. It was good positioning. The Kiwis, just hats off to them. They nailed the start. Their timing, their speed at the gun was incredible. And I think, you know, they've just scrapped hard all weekend on New Zealand. I think they'll have a lot of work-ons when they go away. They've not started well until the race that you have to start well.
So while the Americans and the Spanish were entangled out on the start box, looking to get the prime position at the pole start, everyone forgot about how they forgot about it, but they forgot about Peter Burling and the Kiwis as they stayed out back and hit the line at full speed, and no one ever really threatened them until the very end. We now go on board with New Zealand. Peter Burling, 2 in a row. It's got to feel great. This light wind has suited you guys so well. And again, we talk about the start. They seem to have forgot about you, and you saw that opening. It must have been a great feeling when you caught that pressure.
Yeah, well, it was such a big battle for the lured in that we just managed to gauge off and just go straight over the top. And we kind of knew it was going to be a completely different start in that one with 3 boats instead of the cluster we've had in the last couple, so it was awesome to capitalise, make the most of it, and yeah, what an awesome feeling. Start 2024 off with a win. Huge effort to everyone, team, fella. We've been battling all weekend, had some really good ones and some absolute shockers, but to put it together there at the end in both those last 2 races, just to scrape through and then to win is, you know, awesome for us on the season overalls.
Blair, you keep running off when I go to talk to you, mate. If you could just come back on camera, that would be absolutely great. What does it mean to the team? You had such a tough summer through the European leg, but you seem to have turned things around. Your form is unbelievable. How are you feeling?
Yeah, amazing way, like Pete said, to start 2024. Midway through last season wasn't easy, that's for sure. But yeah, to bounce back like we have shows a whole heap of grit from the team. And yeah, I mean, these lighter races probably aren't the most exciting for people to watch, but yeah, we're finding our way through and sailing the boat well, and it's hugely pleasing.
Blair and Pete, thanks for your time. We'll let you guys get to shore for the prize giving, and congratulations once again as they win back-to-back races. They win event 6 in Dubai, and then they win event 7 in Abu Dhabi. And now, boy, the news just keeps getting better. They head to southern waters. First it'll be Australia, then their home regatta in New Zealand.
Now, it's a trend we have spoken about before. With the 29-meter wings, the Kiwis typically sail less distance, and here it is again, 2.5 kilometers compared with the 2.6 and 2.8 of the Spain and US teams. So they weren't the fastest on the water on average, but they sailed less distance and hit that line twice as fast as the other two teams, and critically, that's what made the difference.
Emily, you said it before, the data doesn't lie. How does New Zealand just seem to find themselves in the right place at all the times? Right now, we're going to head down on the water, and Lisa Darmanin catching up with the second-place finishers, the Spanish. Lisa, all to you.
Well, Diego, I know you would like to take